Abbie Duggar, known for her deeply rooted conservative upbringing in the Duggar family, has long been associated with modesty and traditional values. Raised in a household that emphasized strict dress codes and conservative behavior, she rarely deviated from those expectations until now. Her recent decision to wear a swimsuit during a vacation with her husband, John David Duggar, marks a significant shift in her public persona. This moment, captured on their trip to the Cayman Islands, represents more than just a fashion choice. It symbolizes a personal evolution. For years, Abbie adhered to the standards set by her family, but this bold move suggests she is redefining her own boundaries. The contrast between her past and present choices highlights an emerging independence, signaling that she is no longer bound by the expectations that once dictated her lifestyle. As images of her in a swimsuit circulated online, reactions poured in from fans and critics alike, underscoring the significance of this seemingly simple yet powerful act. The response to Abbie Duggar's swimsuit appearance was immediate and widespread, sparking discussions across social media platforms and news outlets. Many supporters praised her for embracing personal freedom and body confidence, viewing her choice as a positive step towards self-expression. Some applauded her willingness to break away from the rigid norms of her upbringing, seeing it as a declaration of independence. However, not all reactions were favorable. Critics, particularly those aligned with conservative values, expressed disappointment, arguing that her decision contradicted the principles she had previously upheld. Religious and family-oriented communities voiced concerns over what they perceived as a departure from modesty and integrity. Meanwhile, media coverage varied, with some outlets framing the moment as a milestone in Abbie's personal journey, while others scrutinized it as a controversial deviation from her past image. Regardless of perspective, one thing was clear: Abbie's swimsuit post had ignited a broader conversation about individuality, faith, and evolving societal expectations. Abbie Duggar's choice to wear a swimsuit reflects a deeper transformation, one that extends beyond clothing and into the realm of personal identity. Throughout her life, she has been shaped by the expectations of her family and community, often prioritizing collective values over individual expression. However, this moment signals a turning point, where she consciously steps into a space of autonomy. By choosing to dress according to her own comfort rather than external pressures, she asserts her right to define her own path. This evolution is not necessarily a rejection of her past, but rather a natural progression towards self-discovery. As she navigates married life with John David, it becomes evident that her priorities are shifting, emphasizing personal fulfillment and mutual respect within her relationship. Her actions suggest a growing confidence in making decisions based on her own beliefs, rather than adhering strictly to inherited traditions. In doing so, Abbie is not only redefining her public image, but also setting a precedent for others who may be grappling with similar struggles between personal desires and societal expectations. Abbie Duggar's decision to wear a swimsuit is emblematic of a broader cultural shift, where individuals are increasingly challenging traditional expectations around modesty, gender roles, and religious influence. In recent years, many public figures have distanced themselves from rigid ideologies that once dictated their personal choices, opting instead for a more inclusive and self-directed approach to identity. This trend is particularly visible among younger generations, who prioritize authenticity and personal agency over conformity. Abbie's choice resonates with this movement, highlighting how personal expression can serve as a form of empowerment. While some view her actions as a departure from her roots, others see it as a necessary step toward reclaiming individuality in a society that often imposes strict moral standards. Her experience mirrors that of countless others who struggle to balance personal freedom with familial or cultural expectations. Ultimately, Abbie's swimsuit moment underscores a growing sentiment that personal choices should be guided by self-respect and happiness rather than external judgment. As Abbie Duggar continues to navigate her evolving identity, her choice to embrace a more personal style reflects a broader theme of self-discovery. While her past was defined by adherence to strict guidelines, this new chapter allows for the freedom to explore different aspects of herself without fear of criticism. Social media has played a crucial role in amplifying her voice, offering a platform where she can share her journey on her own terms. With each post, she subtly reshapes the narrative surrounding her life, moving away from the constraints of her upbringing and toward a future built on self-determination. Whether intentional or not, her actions contribute to ongoing conversations about body positivity, personal autonomy, and the complexities of faith-based upbringings. As she grows more comfortable in her own skin, Abbie's presence online serves as both an inspiration and a reminder that change is not only possible but often necessary for personal growth. The Duggar family, once known for their strict adherence to conservative values and public image, has undergone a series of noticeable transformations in recent years. What was once a tightly controlled household governed by specific rules regarding modesty, relationships, and media presence is now evolving into something more fluid. While some members continue to uphold traditional beliefs, others have begun embracing perspectives that deviate from the expectations set by their upbringing. This shift is particularly evident in how individual family members approach personal choices, such as fashion, career paths, and public interactions. The transition from a rigidly structured environment to one that allows for more autonomy marks a significant turning point in the Duggar narrative. These changes are not abrupt departures but rather gradual shifts that reflect broader societal influences and personal growth. As each sibling navigates adulthood, they face the challenge of balancing inherited values with newfound independence, leading to both internal and external adjustments. One of the most visible transformations within the Duggar family is the way several siblings have chosen to present themselves publicly. In the past, modest dress codes were strictly enforced, with long skirts and high necklines being the norm. However, in recent years, some of the Duggar children have adopted more mainstream fashion choices, reflecting a departure from the stringent guidelines of their youth. Abbie Duggar's decision to wear a swimsuit during a Cayman Islands getaway became a focal point of this evolution, signaling a shift toward personal expression over collective expectation. Similarly, other siblings have been spotted wearing clothing that would have previously been deemed inappropriate by their family standards. These changes extend beyond fashion. They represent a broader movement towards self-determination. As the Duggars step into adulthood, they are redefining what it means to live according to their own values, rather than those imposed upon them. While some family members remain committed to traditional ideals, others are embracing a more flexible interpretation of faith and lifestyle, illustrating the complexity of navigating personal identity within a well-known and scrutinized family dynamic. Another significant transformation among the Duggar siblings involves their evolving perspectives on relationships and independence. Growing up in a family that emphasized courtship under parental guidance, many of the older siblings followed a structured path toward marriage. However, as the younger generation comes of age, there is a noticeable shift in how they approach romantic relationships and personal autonomy. Some had chosen to delay marriage, focusing instead on education, careers, or travel before settling down. Others have opted for more independent lifestyles, making decisions without relying heavily on parental approval. This shift reflects a growing emphasis on self-reliance and personal choice, contrasting with the earlier model of family-driven decision-making. Additionally, several siblings have expressed a desire for greater privacy, stepping back from the intense media scrutiny that once defined their lives. While the Duggars remain a closely watched family, the increasing emphasis on individuality suggests a move away from the collective identity that once dominated their public presence. As they navigate these new paths, the siblings are reshaping their roles within the family unit, forging identities that blend tradition with modern sensibilities. Faith has always been a cornerstone of the Duggar family's identity, guiding their decisions and shaping their worldview. However, in recent years, there has been a noticeable evolution in how individual family members interpret and practice their beliefs. While some continue to embrace the religious principles instilled in them from childhood, Others have begun exploring different spiritual perspectives or adopting a more personalized approach to faith. This shift is particularly evident in how certain siblings engage with their communities and express their values. For instance, while Josh Duggar's legal troubles and subsequent public fallout sparked widespread discussions about accountability and redemption, other siblings have taken a quieter but equally meaningful path towards spiritual introspection. Some have spoken openly about deepening their personal relationship with faith outside the confines of organized religion, emphasizing compassion, service, and individual connection over rigid doctrine. This diversification of religious experiences within the family underscores a broader trend: the recognition that faith can be deeply personal and ever-evolving. As each sibling grapples with their own spiritual journey, they contribute to a more nuanced understanding of belief, one that acknowledges growth, questioning, and the pursuit of meaning beyond inherited traditions. As the Duggar family continues to evolve, so too does their relationship with the public eye. Once a household synonymous with reality television and conservative advocacy, the family now finds itself at a crossroads between maintaining a public presence and seeking greater privacy. The rise of social media has allowed individual members to control their narratives in ways that were previously dictated by producers and networks. This shift has enabled them to share personal milestones, reflections, and daily life on their own terms rather than through a curated lens. However, this increased autonomy also brings heightened scrutiny, as every post, appearance, or statement is analyzed by fans and critics alike. Some siblings have embraced this digital visibility, using platforms like Instagram and YouTube to connect with audiences directly. Others have chosen a more discreet approach, limiting their online presence to maintain a sense of normalcy. This divergence in strategy highlights the complexities of growing up in the spotlight, balancing authenticity with the need for personal space. As the Duggars navigate this delicate equilibrium, they must continually redefine what it means to be both public figures and private individuals, adapting to an era where identity is shaped as much by digital presence as by real-life experiences. As the Duggar family moves forward, the transformations taking place within its ranks suggest a broader redefinition of their collective identity. No longer solely defined by their reality show or their strict upbringing, individual members are carving out distinct paths that reflect their personal growth and evolving perspectives. Some may continue to uphold the values instilled in them, while others will inevitably forge new ideologies shaped by experience and self-discovery. This divergence does not signify a fracture, but rather a natural progression as each sibling matures and navigates life beyond the constraints of their early years. The future of the Duggar legacy will likely be shaped by how they reconcile their past with their present, finding ways to honor their roots while embracing change. Whether through continued public engagement or a retreat into private life, the next chapter of the Duggar story promises to be one of adaptation, resilience, and individuality.